I mean, there's no other way to put it. This was terrible in all the right ways. From the grotesque animation of people's face peeling off like they're zombies and necks snapping, grotesque in the most disgustingly beautiful way, to the realization that Mr. Diddy over here apparently has no pulse, which Subaru seems very oddly excited about. To me, that makes it more concerning because if this man's essentially the Walking Dead, I don't know how we're going to defeat it. But the more you watch of this arc, the more the kind of PTSD sits in from previous seasons where you're like, man, there's going to be a lot of deaths, but no, we're doing this in one go, more or less. Sure, the intro had a couple of deaths, but prior to that, I mean, after that, nothing really has changed. Like at face value, this episode makes it feel like we have the edge. We literally trapped this crazy bitch, and now Buddy's gonna take out all his pent-up anger, so that, I guess that's good. Reinhard went to space, so he's gonna die from no oxygen, come back down after being revived, doing whatever happens, like a phoenix rising. Probably die from the crash coming down, do that again. Subaru seems oddly brain blast, like he's solved this issue, but telling me this man has no pulse, I don't know, like, I'm probably missing something obvious, and next week's gonna probably reveal that. But right now, I feel this great sense of dread, like they're so screwed, that no matter what we do to these people, whether faces are being peeled off and their necks are rotating in 360 degrees, or someone can be attacked in every which way, nothing's working. And unfortunately, most characters in this show have one life. So when Priscilla or any of them are getting hit, this is without a single doubt in my mind one of the most entertaining ReZero episodes, period. Like, it looked like a movie. They cooked so well. The first, like, all the content before the opening plays is without a doubt the best animation in this episode, and it's for one freaking reason, the facial animation. You actually felt like there was muscles behind the mouth animation. It was insanely well detailed. But the whole episode just has me saying, I truly believe they're completely screwed, but I feel like we're on the counterattack. It really feels like the counterattack arc. But the more they reveal about shit, the more I'm like, listen, it's great that you guys have so much confidence right now, but I don't have that confidence. I think we're screwed. Meaning the victory, because you gotta imagine we get a victory, or season 3 would be the final season, is gonna be all the sweeter, but right now I don't see how they pull this off. And that's really exciting, because it's gonna make any victories all the more rewarding, but disgusting. And I can't wait for more. Now, of course, before we jump any further, you know me. We got the full live reactions. You want to support my work, see my full thoughts on all of these amazing episodes. We got the live reactions exclusively over on Patreon if you're so interested. So, wow. This episode, I think, in particular, really highlights why the break was needed for ReZero. If we didn't have the break we had in between episodes 8 and 9, the animation wouldn't look this clean. I'm not saying it wouldn't still look good. It probably would. But like I mentioned, stuff like the facial animation would not have been touched up this much. So, I think a lot of people who watch this episode are gonna they're gonna notice the episode feels better than usual, but they're probably not gonna notice exactly why. But if you have an eye for detail, and you really know the difference of how different things look in animation, you're gonna notice so many shots, especially when they had close-ups on any of the characters, they literally made it look like there was muscles in the face. And why that's so impressive is because in general, anime, they have kind of like different mouth flaps, different eye expressions, but like the transition from one to the other isn't anything too crazy unless it's a really important scene. They had prolonged scenes of like looking like there was multiple muscles in anguish and happy, and just, it felt like a real living actor. And that is incredibly impressive, and those little moments add so much immersion to the point that it made it feel more like a movie than it did a TV episode. And because of that, you got the expressions of anguish and fear and terror and all these different high complex emotions. They came across as if we were watching real people. And when you're dealing with a cult and people fighting said cult, there's a lot of emotions at play, and I really think this was probably the best episode in season 3 that got across all of their emotions. You kickstart the episode off with a situation that looked completely hopeless. Turns out it was a trap. I was like, how is this girl getting out of bed? She just got destroyed by a dragon. Oh, okay, it wasn't even her. Now I understand how we jumped her. And just the idea that after she falls down the hole, her face is peeled. And just, once again, 360 head movements. And I mean, it's like, yeah, great. It looks like we got the jump on them. But these characters are brushing off wounds like they're a goddamn paper cut. Like, forgive me for not having a lot of confidence right now. It's great that they have it, meaning that we're probably going to do okay. But it feels a little hopeless right now, I ain't gonna lie. The Subaru and Amelia stuff was probably, like, the most engaging content just because it was the longest stuff that we did see. But I ain't gonna lie, Priscilla going hard in that animation for her kiss. They didn't need to animate the tongues like they did, but they did so to snap her out of that. And if it wasn't apparent after last week, it's apparent now that she definitely has that's her love interest right there. She got smacked in the face, though, with a chain. And I'm like, oh, that could kill us. We're dealing with characters who can have their entire skin peel off, and we're like, yeah, they'll walk that off, but you see someone get smacked in the head with a very heavy chain, it could be game over for them. That stuff was great. But yeah, the Amelia Subaru stuff was fantastic. I mean, at one point, she saves her boy, she poses midair after holding his hand using ice skates. This man's picking up large bodies of water to propel down to such a degree that it's like raining knives. Just insane shit. And while, yes, we're taking the counterattack to them, and we are pushing them back, we're trapping some people, we're actually doing some damage to others, but at the end of the day, there's a reason why this is only, episode 10. Because at face value, you would assume a lot of what happened in this episode would be kind of like building into the finale. Nah, they're gonna get their shit pushed in again. Might even lose someone. We'll probably win, or at least force them to retreat somehow. And I think it's great that Subaru feels very confident right now that he's cracked the code. Like, hey, his name based on stars. Okay, this is what this means. He probably doesn't have a pulse. I don't know how that helps us right now, because if he can stop time for himself, like, if that leads to a breakthrough that he can then make it so he doesn't stop time for, but how? I just don't see how. Like, I have no freaking idea, right? And that's really exciting, because usually watching any anime, whether it's ReZero or not, with, you gotta really kind of go through all the fine details, really pick out, like, even if you're throwing random shit to the wall, there's usually ideas I'll have at the very least. I don't. I have no idea what Subaru and Amelia are going to do in this situation. Seemingly they have some, and I hope for their sake it works, because otherwise they're shit out of luck. But this is bad right now. We're really dealing with, like, indestructible level armies, and most of our characters can't return by death. And one of the characters who's immortal got sent off like Jesse and James from Team Rocket, but this time went into complete outer space, so he's dead up there. He'll revive like a phoenix, I'm sure. But as he says, it'll take me a bit to get back. ReZero's first astronaut did not go according to plan, that's all I'm saying. Fantastic episode, absolutely 10 out of 10, even better than last week, and I'd personally argue one of, if not the most entertaining episodes of Season 3 for me. Sure, it's not as shocking as other episodes, but there's just, the quality felt movie-like. Like, what else can I say? Thoughts, theories, if you got any. Of course, if you don't know the source material, don't play pretend. We know when you do. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new around here, of course, ring that bell, and like I mentioned, we got those full live reactions over on Patreon, and hey, while you're over there, I'll also give you a video shout out. So today we got Matt Barker, Call 853, Xenogod, Mario Jacob, Zachary Barnett, original name here, Brian Gonzalez, and we also have Cody Tiffany. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care, and you'll have a good one.